Good evening and welcome to tonight's select board meeting for Tuesday, May 5th. If you could, let's join me in reciting the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. We have announcements and opening remarks from the chair, which we're going to do some announcements, and then I do have opening remarks that we're going to do. But Ken, if you want to start with that.
So I want to share with everybody on Tuesday, May the 12th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Hannah's on Main. There's going to be a celebrity bartender and service night, and this is to raise funds to go to the Town of Ware fireworks display. So tips will go towards the Town of Ware fireworks display. I guess you still got to pay for the beverage, but it's not free, so you got to pay. And if you're really motivated, come dressed up as your favorite 80s TV show character and be eligible to win prizes. So that's Tuesday, May 12th, 5:30 to 7:30 at Hannah's, Celebrity Bartender and Service Night. And the tips that are provided will go towards the Town of Ware fireworks display. So please, we invite you to attend and support this worthwhile cause.
All right. The Ware River Dart League, which was established in 1988 out of the VFW in Ware. It's a developmental league to learn the game of darts. Come on out and have a fun night. The league plays every Tuesday night at 7:30 at various locations in the surrounding towns, such as Ware River Club, St. Stan's, that's in West Warren, Fraternal Order of Eagles in West Warren, Glenda's Pub, Warren, Munson Polish Club in Munson, VFW in North Brookfield, Hearts Cafe in North Brookfield. Also, we have the banner up right to my right for the retirees, recent retirement, sorry. Darlene, she was the assistant treasurer, she did 34 years. Chuck, the highway superintendent, did 38 years. Luke, he was the highway foreman, did 29 years. And Billy, equipment operator, did 23 years. As a thank you for their service, they were given town plaques at their little retirement party. So, and then before we get on, I drafted something. I want to just make this announcement for everybody that's here. Thank you for being here today. Our town is facing real challenges, and it's clear that we must face them together. I want to speak openly about where we stand, the concerns that you have all shared, and the steps that we are going to be taking to move forward. Where is strong? Where is resilient? And where is our home? I know many of you have felt frustrations about the state of our town, from the appearance of our streets to the lingering effects of the closure of the Mary Lane Hospital. It can feel like Ware isn't reflecting the pride and the potential we once knew it had. These issues are not cosmetic. They affect our quality of life, our health, and our safety. The loss of our hospital has placed heavy demands on our emergency services. Our police, ambulance, and fire crews are doing extraordinary work, but the pressure is intense and unsustainable. We share your concern and your frustration. But let me be clear about this, we are going to be taking action. The Select Board is committed to holding the highest standards for how a board should act and serve you, the residents of this town. Leadership is about service, accountability, and action. Values that we will uphold every day. We will lead with transparency and integrity, ensuring that every decision reflects the town's best interests. At the same time, we will welcome collaboration with other boards, committees, and any resident who wants to move the town forward and not backward. Together, we can make sure every voice is heard and every idea counts. We also recognize the questions and doubts many of you have about town leadership, whether that be elected or appointed. Our officials must act with transparency and accountability, and a commitment to the people in which we serve. We hear you, and we are listening. Rebuilding trust is our responsibility, and I promise to do everything that we can to do to earn it, by making decisions guided by your voice and what is best for the town of Ware and Whole. These are not just problems, they are opportunities. Opportunities to show us that what Ware is actually made of. We don't shy away from our problems, we will meet them head on. We are Ware. We are also that town that is nationally known as the town that cannot be licked. Our resilience runs deep in this community. Together, we can face these challenges head on. I ask for your partnership, not just your presence, but your ideas, your energy, your involvement. Your voice matters, your ideas matter, but most importantly, your involvement all matters. Whether it's attending meetings or volunteering, sharing solutions, doesn't matter what you pick, your engagement in this town is essential. The road ahead may not be easy, but I am confident, together, we can make Ware a town we are proud to call home. A town that reflects our strongest values, our collective spirit, and the courage that defines us. Thank you for your time, your commitment, the dedication that you have to helping make Ware stronger, healthier, and more vibrant. When Ware moves forward, together, we will all make great progress. We are all in this together, and together there is nothing we can't accomplish. Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
Nicely stated.
So now we'll move over into the consent agenda. We have the approval of minutes for April 7th, 16th, and 21 of 2026. If everyone had the opportunity to read these minutes, and they're fine with no objections to them, then we would look for a motion in a second.
I move we approve the minutes of the April 7th, 16th, and 21st, 2026.
One second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, and now we have one-day liquor license requests. We have 26-17, Seth Nguyen and Woodshed on May 31st, 2026, from 6 to 11:30 p.m. Workshop 13 Church Street. 2026-18, The Heart Collectors, June 20th, 2026, from 6 to 11:30 p.m. Workshop 13. 2026-19, The Wellness Collective, grand opening, May 17th from 12:30 to 4:30, 44 East Main Street. And then we have a special event application, 2026-15, Everything Swaps, May 16th, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Grenville Park. If there is no need for a discussion, we'd look for a second.
I have a question.
Yes.
Mr. Chair. Regarding the special event application for Everything Swaps, this is, as I read it, this is a new request to the town, first time they come in, and if I understand correctly, they're having an event where they're going to have people come and bring items that they want to swap or dispose of with other people. Am I understanding that correctly, Nicole?
Yes, there is a condition on their permit application. There's three things. I can read those to you quickly. They were asking to have food vendors, so food vendors require permits prior to the event. Number two, no remaining items are to be left within the park. All items are to be removed. And there is another event scheduled for that day, so we're asking them to be on the other side of the park, and please coordinate with the park manager prior to the event. So those are the three conditions on their special event.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there anything else?
I have a question too. Is there any restrictions on what can be swapped that day? I don't know if that's,
That's planned.
okay. That's all I had.
All right. Anybody else? No? We look for,
One last.
yes?
And I don't mean to, the question, the people who are applying for this, are they people who have done previous special event applications with the town, or are they brand new to us? And secondly, if they're brand new to us, is it for a Ware-based organization, or is it an organization based outside of Ware?
This is the first time they're doing this event. I believe it's a coalition of collective family,
Carolyn lives in Ware.
family advancement. So I believe they're based in here in Ware. I don't know the intent of their business.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So, is there anything else questions, anything regarding any of this? If not, then we'd look, to get an approval of the liquor license request and the special event application. Anybody wanna make a motion?
I make a motion.
I'll,
Alright.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Steven. All in favor, Steve?
Steve and I.
Ken?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Josh, aye. All right, thank you. So we have resignations and appointment. We have our first resignation, which is not always a good thing at all. It is from the Ware Cultural Council, Lynn Rude. Her term expired on October 29th of 2025. So, anybody have anything to say, ask? If not, I look for a motion to accept Ms. Rude's resignation.
I move we accept Lynn Rude's resignation from the Ware Cultural Council and thank her for her service.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Steve and I.
All right, now we have appointments. Where can I find mine? Give me 1 second. It's here somewhere. I thought I had it. Do we have appointments? No. Thank you. So we have the appointment for the Ware Veterans Agent Graves Officer, Mark Avis. He wrote, to whom it may concern, I am writing today to ask for a reappointment. Oh, this was, he wrote, this was dated February 24th, 2026. We did table this the last time.
Yes,
Were all the concerns addressed?
No.
so I don't know if you wanna table it again.
I do, because I really think that we need to,
Okay.
listen.
So then we look for a motion to table.
No motion table?
All right. Any for discussion?
Just, we tabled it the last time because there were questions that we were handing off to Stuart, if I understood correctly, to look into. Is that still?
Valerie was to send her points to me, which she did, and we've had a discussion. I would suggest our next discussion is with Mr. Avis, whether it's just me or both of us, to talk about the issues.
Okay. All right. With that being said, do we get a second on that?
Second.
All in favor of the table?
Aye.
All right. And then Ware Cultural Council, Carol Brundy?
Brundage.
All right. Term would go from May 4th, 2026 to May 3rd of 2029. She writes, no, did she? Oh, letter of recommendation. I'm writing to request an extension of the term of service for Miss Brundy, 33 West Main Street, to the Ware Cultural Council. Her current term expired November 30th, 2025. She is a dedicated member to the council and to the Ware community. We look forward to working with her for the next 3 years. Can we get a motion to approve?
No motion to approve?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Here, John, thank you. All right, we have scheduled appearance in a joint meeting with the Board of Assessors to go over payments in lieu of taxes as a pilot. Agreement for senior housing complex on Church Street.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. You come bringing money.
We came here on the agenda with a positive
Yeah.
news. This is Kate. We have Jim and Mike, the assessors, and we have our Harold up there, our consultant.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, we are coming up on another agreement with the Church Street School, and I'm gonna let Harold take the mic and run with it.
Yes. So there's a class of organizations that are nonprofits that whose mission is to develop and manage housing, affordable housing, and we have the Church Street complex comprised of 29 units that's been under a pilot agreement, a payment in lieu of tax agreement that is now expiring at the end of this fiscal year. We've been in negotiations, by we I mean I and the Board of Assessors have been in negotiations with the Church Street folks. And it was our intent and desire to ask them to pony up a bit more money than they have in the past. The last pilot agreement called for annual payments that were around $7,000 a year, and that for, again, 29 units. After a bit of back and forth, we settled on a figure that equates to $1,000 per unit, or in the first year, a $29,000 tax payment that would be made in lieu of conventional property taxes. I might point out that a lot of communities exempt these types of properties outright. We have the right and privilege to ask for a payment in lieu of tax. These properties do come with demands on public services, and I think it's only right and fit that they make a fair contribution to the town. It's my sense coming out of the last meeting we had with the folks there that they would agree to a $39,000 initial pilot payment. The document you have in front of you is a simple agreement between the owner, the charitable owner of the facility, and the town. I'm here to answer any questions you might have, and
Does the board wish to ask any questions?
No, I'm impressed that we've gone from 7,000 annually to a starting of 29,000.
Yeah.
And in fiscal year 2036, it'll be 36,217. How did you arrive at the increase year over year?
well, it's a 2.5% increase.
Okay.
Under Prop 2.5, property taxes in town will increase by about 2.5% on average. So it seemed fair that this property would likewise realize a 2.5% escalator in their annual payment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would say that I think this building at the old high school is very, very well maintained. Certainly is a plus for the town. I certainly would support this.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Any need for further discussion? Hearing none. So we would look to make a motion to approve the pilot program for the senior housing complex on Church Street.
I would move we approve the payment in lieu of tax agreement for the Church Street School Housing per MGL Section 6A of Chapter 121A, dated the 5th of May 2026, and showing that a payment of a pilot fee commencing with the current fiscal year of $29,000 for fiscal year 27, all the way through fiscal year 2036 of $36,217 in that fiscal year payment.
Can we get a second?
I'll second.
Steven second. Roll call vote. Steven?
Stephen, aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
John? And Josh is aye. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Okay, good seeing you all.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Carol,
You got any more for us, Jerry?
Working on it.
All right.
So I didn't forget, I wanted to get them out. We'll go into comments and concerns from citizens. Go ahead, Ann. How are you tonight?
I'm good, thank you. Appreciate the allowance of the time. At the last meeting, it was noted how nice your table looks there. And to this process-driven resident, I'd like to point out that your new agenda looks fabulous. It looks like the tool that it has the potential to be. Cindy Borsier, a couple months back, at minimum, made some suggestions like that. I'm really hopeful that the other things that she suggested may also be in the works. I really do feel it'll further build the expediency and engagement in these meetings. That's my comment. I have a question, though. There was $7,500 that was approved at town meeting for Mary Lane-related lawyer services that I understand Pat Davidson then provided for the town. I'm just curious how the amount spent was $35,000 or somewhere in that range. What accounts for the difference? Where is that difference? How is that accounted for? Or who should I be pointing that question to find out the answer to that?
Stuart, can you answer?
Don't believe there was an appropriation, but if my memory's wrong, all the funds, the 7,500 was a, oh my gosh, retainer for Attorney Davidson's firm. We ended up getting about a little over 50% of that back on the last bill. The cost of her services, the 35 to 40,000. All the funds came out of the town meeting appropriation in the town's legal account.
And if I might, Stuart, was the $7,500 voted by the board because the retainer is a contract and needed approval to go forward?
I don't think so. The board voted, the only legal funding board voted was to approve Mr. Grenlin's use of up to 5,000 to talk to KP Law.
Okay. Okay.
I'll double check my memory on the 7,500, but
That's correct.
I think it all came out of the legal account.
Okay.
Okay, so there's an account that the money can be taken from that doesn't require having a town meeting vote of some sort. Is that correct?
It does have a town meeting vote, but it's the budget, the annual budget, so it came out of that vote, that budget.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Stuart, I appreciate the information.
Thank you, Ann. We appreciate it. Ann, you were under the 3 minutes. It's amazing. Nice job. So,
I have just a quickie.
yes.
I really appreciate your opening statement. I'm really excited about this new board. I think it's time to clean up some of the past mistakes and correct some of the things that have happened. Time to clear the slate and time for a new beginning. So I'm really excited about it. But there are some mistakes that do need to be cleared up.
All right, thank you.
That was real quick.
We will address them. Okay, anybody else? I see nobody. All right, thank you very much. So we'll go into old business. And it's the railroad update. Stuart has prepared something.
Just very briefly, we did reach out to Mass Central Railroad. The operations manager was away, should be available May 19th, however, well, not however, maybe however. We did learn through Mr. Della Penna that the railroad's actually up for sale. I don't know if that'll affect how they respond to the town, but right now we're looking at least on Zoom to have him here for May 19th.
Okay.
And, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
If I could, back on July 16th of '24, Stuart received an email from Bruce Crawford regarding the Route 32 Railroad Bridge. And it goes, and I just want to read it because it provides some context about some of the concerns that have been previously reported and some of the things the town has done to work on resolving them at that point. Mr. Beckley, I received an inquiry regarding the referenced bridge span in Ware, Mass. From Mass DOT. Please be advised the railroad is aware of the bridge condition in that under 49 CFR Part 237, it is inspected regularly by a professional bridge engineering firm. And in regard to this particular instance, the defect you have noted is not an imminent safety defect. However, please be advised it is an item we are closely monitoring and is scheduled for repair this calendar year. And then he goes on to say, I'd be happy to meet with you to discuss at your convenience. So when Mr. Crawford comes in, we're certainly going to want to ask him what the status of that issue was, along with any other issues that have been brought before the town.
Right, because the report that Representative Smola provided you last meeting is more recent than that comment, it's 2025, and it still showed some issues.
All right. Moving on, we're gonna go under new business. We have an open meeting law complaint filed against the select board by Cynthia Allen, dated April 26, 2026. Acknowledge receipt of the complaint, review and discuss response, and authorize submission of response by town council. Votes may be taken.
Town council is here if Nicole, if you'd like.
Yeah. Hi, Nicole, good evening.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
All right. So, can we go over the findings of what has come to, with this complaint?
Yeah, so the board should be reviewing the complaints and the allegations in the complaints, commenting on them, and then I spoke with the town manager, and we've prepared a draft response for the board to review as well. You should all have a copy of the complaint by Ms. Allen. It's dated April 26th. There are a number of allegations in the complaint. The complaint itself identifies the town of Ware as the subject public body, and also identifies the select board, town manager, and town clerk as the specific persons who allegedly violated the open meeting law. The complaint attaches numerous calendars, printouts of agendas and printouts of meeting minutes broadly from November 2025 through April 2026. The complaint alleges currently out of 21 committees listed on the town website, 18 do not have proper agendas or meeting minutes posted and therefore are out of compliance.
Okay. Does the board have any questions?
Let's see. I do. Nicole, the response you've drafted aligns with the open meeting law and notices the discrepancies between the alleged, the complaint and what the law allows. However, I think it would be fair to say that having the minutes of meetings done in a timely manner is something the board is concerned about and has struggled to work to get that down to boards and committees. So while we have the technical merits, I think there's also that sense of how can we better improve what we're doing? And what can we as a board do? And absent the pure of the complaint, but what can we do as a board to move this forward, to try and do that? And with Cynthia in the room, if I may, Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask Cynthia, you've done a lot of research. You can see the scope of the number of committees that meet on a regular basis. Each one of them has an individual chair and an individual secretary. They meet on a very different schedule with very different agendas and levels of engagement. I don't know that this board has the exact oversight of each individual committee to be able to have a conversation with them about that. So I'm curious, while you've noted some deficiencies, what would you suggest is a better approach to do that?
I have a great idea. First of all, I think just sending something out to all the different committee leads and getting more input from them. I think adding a protocol that when they approve their meeting minutes from the prior meeting, at that time, they're also verifying that the prior meeting got posted correctly. So taking it upon themselves, it's not something, and this has been, I know, escalated to the board many times about meeting minutes not getting posted. They all have their different people, and putting that onto the committee to be responsible to make sure that things are getting posted correctly. Great example is Irene is on the Council of Aging, and she didn't realize that the meeting minutes were not getting posted. So, and they do it. Most of the committees are actually doing the meeting minutes, they're just not getting posted. So all she had to do is bring that up to the person who does post them, and now they're posted. So it's just simply new protocol for all the committees to be able to make sure that they're getting posted. But also, I think it would be great if each committee looked at their own committee webpage to look at it and see, does that reflect what the committee's doing? Does it have their mission statement? Does it have who's on the committee? And who do you contact on that committee? So I think that's a great idea. But it's really more of a bottom-up from the committees of trying to figure out how they can comply with open meeting laws.
If I can ask a question, Mr. Chair. So if we as a board, and that's not something we're gonna do overnight.
Oh, yeah.
That's a process, but if we as a board made that an agenda item, would that be better than pursuing an open meeting violation?
One thing I like about the open meeting violations is that it documents it, and I like the idea of clearing the slate. There's a lot of things that have gone on in the past that need to get improved, and this is just one of them. There's been some other things that I've been bringing up recently. So if it's documented, and then in the future, if it happens again, then it just deters future behavior.
I guess, and I appreciate that, but again, I'll just ask you to consider the span of the number of committees in Stewart. How many appointed committees are we, 20?
I did not count,
But
but a lot.
21 committees, and there was
And commissions.
a couple of things that weren't on there.
21, so let's say 25. 25 boards, committees, commissions, 25 chairs, 25 secretaries, 25 meeting agendas, 25, so just trying to wrestle that, and I hear what you're saying about documenting it, is not documenting it with the board and the board making a commitment. If you I'm just thinking out loud, but if you withdrew this from the state attorney general, they're still gonna have it on file. And I imagine you could revisit it at a later date if you wanted to, but give us the flexibility to work with you to try and address this rather than having to go through the state and trying to justify and waiting for a decision when maybe we can start this now and not have to wait.
Right, and you know that the decision takes 8 months and then another and another.
And
so
I just,
it's
you
a
know,
year
back to
later.
Josh's earlier statement about what the board wants to do about for Ware and the residents, this is a perfect example. I'm not saying we're gonna be, personally, my own opinion, I'm not saying I'm gonna agree with every observation you make of what is being done wrong, but I do agree that if we can engage with the residents to come up to solutions and work together on things, that's always a better solution. I think we have a perfect opportunity to do that in the spirit of what Josh has pledged on behalf of this board and the work that you have done. Give us a chance to prove it.
So I'm wondering then, if this gets filed with open government, and if, I just want it documented. Because it forces people to do what they're supposed to be doing. So I don't know, maybe Nicole can jump in on that, what that process is, but if this form is done, if it's a formal complaint, and it gets documented, and then we just work it out ourselves, because a lot of it's pretty easy. I know, Josh, you were talking about getting some new protocols going anyway. A lot of this is just trying to have protocols.
So what, so if it's documented, you'd actually, and look to just withdraw this for right now, but as long as it's documented, so you could show.
On the open government page.
Nicole, could you answer that?
Through the chair, it's not really clear what Miss Allen is referring to when she says on the open government page. To the extent that she wants her complaints filed with the Attorney General's office, in my opinion, the town will need to respond within 14 business days under the open meeting law. And there is a response here that's before the board to consider.
Okay. Did everyone take a read of this here? This is the response.
And through the chair, to be clear, this is a draft response for the board's review and deliberation tonight. And if you'd like me to go through this draft, I'm also happy to do that as well for the board.
Chair?
Yes.
I mean, we just received this tonight. There's a lot here. We have to digest it. I would like to suggest that we hold any action on this for at least until the next meeting.
I would ask the attorney that because the clock on your 14
Yes.
days is
I'm
ticking.
sorry.
Your clock on the 14-day limit is ticking, so.
Because if now we're.
How many days do we have?
Is it the 19th? No. It's Friday, Nicole, that it's due?
Through the chair, it's 14 business days, and so my calculation puts us at Friday, May 15th.
Yeah, that means we'd have to hold another meeting.
Yeah.
That's another time that Nicole, when we can get this done.
Yeah, I think it's important enough, like you said, there's a lot here, we have to digest it, and I would certainly like a little more time to digest it. I certainly would concur with another meeting in which the board members will have a chance to review and comment on this.
But, Mr. Chair, I understand, but maybe if Attorney Costanzo summarized her letter, that would help understand it.
Yes.
And then, if the letter's gonna be submitted, then incorporating Mr. Willette's comments about what the board would do with protocol into an extra paragraph into the letter.
Okay, why don't we do that then? We can have her summarize her response, hopefully that you can get an understanding of it, and then we can
Make an
incorporate.
informed decision.
So, is that good with you, Nicole? Just summarize your response.
I'm happy to review the response. To be clear, it is a draft response, and it has to be the board's response.
Yep.
While town council is sending it on the board's behalf, it is the board's response and not town council's, just to keep that clear for everyone. As set forth in the draft here, we have that the board is meeting tonight. If the board will be meeting again, of course, this can be amended, this draft at the direction of the board, and to address any concerns that the board may have. There's a general discussion of the subject matter and the allegations in the complaint, which I've already touched on. And then there's a discussion that really hits 3 points under the open meeting law. The first one, as I mentioned again, is that the complaint identifies the select board, the town manager, and the town clerk as the specific persons who allegedly violated the open meeting law. However, individuals such as the town manager and the town clerk are not subject to the open meeting law. There's a number of open meeting law determinations that state that, and so to the extent that there's allegations that the town manager or town clerk acted inappropriately under the open meeting law, the draft response here says that those aren't properly before the Attorney General's Division of Open Government to review, and therefore don't invoke open meeting law and shouldn't be responded to by the Attorney General. The second piece of this is that the allegations in the complaint don't allege any sufficiently specific violations. If you look at them, They're very broad, not identifying specific meetings where agendas were improper or where meeting minutes weren't properly created. To the extent that Ms. Allen is arguing in the complaint that the meeting minutes are required to be posted on the town's website, they actually don't have to be posted on the town's website. The open meeting law does not require it, and while I hear and understand that the select board may want to encourage that, it is not a requirement of the open meeting law, and we do cite another determination that stands for that proposition, as well as the specific verse of the open meeting law that applies. Again, under the open meeting law, minutes do have to be timely created and produced when requested, but no specific requirement to post it. In addition, it seems that Ms. Allen in the complaint is requesting a broad audit of the town's public bodies, and the Attorney General has in the past stated that, requesting untimely broad audits of practices of essentially all public bodies in a municipality is not appropriate and does not warrant review. And so we've made that point in here as well. And then finally, the third point is that a lot of the allegations, to the extent that the complaint is pointing back to agendas and meeting minutes from 2025 up until April 2026, most of those are going to be untimely. Anything before March 26th of this year shouldn't be reviewed by the Attorney General's office because it's outside of that 30-day time frame within which complaints have to be made. And so that's the third point that we've made here in this draft response for the board's consideration. And then finally, we have a conclusion that basically articulates what I've heard already from this board, is that the board does want to reaffirm its commitment to complying with the open meeting law and encourage public bodies in town to post meeting minutes on the municipal website. We also noted that the town does have a history here of having open meeting law trainings. Our firm does provide open meeting law trainings to the town every year at no cost, and we have been doing that since I've been town council in town, and we can certainly schedule another one. The Attorney General's office as well does have videos online with respect to open meeting law trainings that individual members can do as well. We didn't note that in the conclusion here. Of course, it could be amended if the board wants to encourage members of its public bodies to go online and watch those as well. And we can certainly discuss scheduling this year's open meeting law training and setting a date for that and encouraging all public bodies to attend.
How does the board feel?
Sounds good to me.
There's a motion. Come on.
Thank you for that, Nicole. Very, very good. Knowing that we're under a timeline and knowing that we do have to respond because it has been submitted, as Cynthia said she wanted it recorded, so now it's recorded, so now we have to fulfill the town's obligation in the spirit of that. So I will move to approve the draft response to the open meeting law complaint prepared by town council and to authorize town council to finalize and send the response to the complaint and the Division of Open Government consistent with our discussion this evening.
Do we have a second?
Second?
We have a second by Valerie. Yeah. Hold on.
A simple question, I fully understand and appreciate this.
Hold on one
I'm
second.
sorry.
No, I recognized her before you started. I just want to make sure Ann, you can go ahead.
I
John,
have comments, I don't know that it would impact what your motions and seconding is accomplishing right now, but do you want me to continue?
Yeah, I saw that your hand was up earlier too, so.
Yeah, I put it up and took it down, and then I put it back up again, because I had some comments regarding some of what's been said. The new board is making changes for things going forward, but I think these filings are intended to help clean up some old items. And that's why Cindy's likely, it seems to me, wanting these on record so that the old stuff can be recorded as such, et cetera. And the second thing was that regarding the scope of the 20-plus groups noted, the suggested solution that she made would make each board or committee responsible for their own work. It therefore dilutes and disperses the responsibility. It's not gonna, I don't believe we're expecting your board to be policing this. The way she's described it, it's up to each of the boards to be policing themselves. So I thought that that was an important designation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, John, sorry.
Okay, as I said, I think you answered the question that I have. So I'll go back to the original motion, and it would be to take this under advisement, have a special meeting in which we would be able to then approve this document. I feel a little uncomfortable about approving a document that's very important without reading it in detail.
So there's two motions.
Oh, just the one for right now.
Kinda had one, John,
What's that?
kinda, didn't you have one?
Yeah, I made a motion
Yeah,
that,
one that was
that we
seconded.
approve the attorney's letter as presented.
You seconded? All right, so then what we'll do is, we'll go forward with that roll call vote on that one there. That was the first motion that was actually acknowledged. All right, so with the motion that Ken made, Stephen,
Still abstaining.
Ken,
Aye.
Valerie,
Aye.
John?
I put a caveat on that. As I said, I would have been more comfortable having read it in detail. I'm confident of everything being said, so I will also concur and vote yes.
Thank you. Aye. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate your assistance.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
You as well.
You as well, thank you.
All right, moving on, under new business. This is a document, going over the town, and this right now is strictly for the Ware Select Board. As we go through this, I plan on reaching out to other boards and committees, especially boards, and see if they would adopt the policy and just change their heading and put the proper words where they need to go. But this was drafted to make sure that the Board of Selectmen have a standard operating procedures, so everybody knows what is happening. It should open up transparency and give people, again, as I stated in the beginning, we are trying to rebuild the trust, and I can only try. If the trust isn't going to be accepted or acknowledged, then that's not the failure of the board. So,
Yeah.
I'd like to go through this. After we're done going through this, I will like to hold another meeting, so that the board itself can take time to digest this, come together, and have strictly a board. Public is obviously always welcome to attend it, but we wouldn't be entertaining any type of a comment from the public at that time. It would be strictly has to be called a meeting, workshop is a good name for it, to go over this. But right now, because we have people here, I'd like to just say that as we're going through this, if it's a good idea, if it's not, I'm opening to all suggestions with this. This document, when it is done and created, and if it does get approved through this board, the document is to be a living document. That means it can take changes. It's going to continue to progress as the days go by. So, the Town of Ware, Massachusetts, Select Board Policy and Procedure Manual. Section 1, Authority and Purpose. 1.1, Authority. This manual is adopted pursuant to the following authorities: Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Subsection 52, the Ware Home Rule Charter, the Home Rule Amendment, Massachusetts Constitutional, Article 89. 1.2, Purpose. The Purpose of this manual is to establish uniform policies and procedures to ensure lawful, transparent, and efficient operations of the select board. So far, so good? This is really invigorating. So, sections 2, organizations of the select board. 2.1, annual organization. The select board must organize annually at the first meeting following the annual town election. 2.2, election of officers. The select board must annually elect from among its members, 1 chair, 1 vice chair. The select board shall designate a clerk of the select board who shall be a member of the select board and or the executive assistant to the town manager. All selections shall be made by majority of vote by the select board by roll call vote. Duties of the clerk of the select board. The clerk of the select board shall, in coordination with assistant to, so it should be executive assistant to the town manager, record all proceedings and votes of the select board, assist in preparation of meeting minute agendas, ensure that minutes are prepared in compliance with applicable law, maintain official records of select board actions, coordinate administrative support as necessary. Terms of office. Officers shall serve 1 term. No member shall serve more than 2 consecutive terms in the same office unless waived by a unanimous vote of the select board. Any questions so far? Vacancies. Any vacancy of an officer position shall be filled by vote of the select board at their next regularly scheduled meeting. The role of the chair. The chair shall preside at all meetings of the select board, coordinate the development of meeting agendas with the town manager and the executive assistant to the town manager, and serve as the ceremonial head of the select board. Communication flow between town manager and the select board. So the primary, this is coming from town manager to the select board via the chair. Primary communication path, town manager to select board chair to full select board. The town manager typically works most directly with the chair, setting agenda, meeting preparation, urgent or time-sensitive issues. The chair then relays that information to the full board, places items on the meeting agendas, ensures the board is informed. It's important to know that the chair is a conduit and a coordinator, not a superior to the town manager. Select board to the town manager via the chair. Formal authority flow. Select board, full select board, vote consensus, chair formalizes, communicates with the town manager. The full board makes a decision as a body along with the chair. Communicates those decisions clearly to the town manager, may provide clarification on behalf of the board. In between meetings, the chair may serve as a designated contact point for routine or urgent matters. What the chair can do: act as the official liaison between the board and the town manager, coordinate communication flow, speak on behalf of the board when authorized or reflecting prior decisions, help avoid fragmented or conflicting direction. What the chair cannot do: independently direct the town manager unless explicitly authorized, an emergency delegation is an example that was given, override the will of the full select board, or act as a town manager's boss in place of the full board. How are we doing so far? No one sleeping yet?
No, not yet.
Oh my goodness. I should have spiced this up a little bit more. Compliance with open meeting law. All meetings of the select board shall be conducted in compliance with Massachusetts open meeting law. The types of meetings. Regular meetings shall be held twice per month. Special meetings may be called by the chair or the majority of the select board. Executive session. Executive session shall be conducted as permitted by and in accordance with Massachusetts open meeting law. Meeting duration. Meeting shall adjourn no later than 9 p.m. unless extended by a 3/5 vote of the select board or, in fact, a simple majority. The order of business, section 6, the select board shall maintain and follow standard agenda format for all meetings. Public comment, number 7. Public comment shall be conducted in an orderly manner and shall be subject to the following requirements. Speakers must be recognized by the chair prior to speaking. Each individual's comments shall be limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise permitted by the chair. Comments must be directed to the select board as a body and remain respectful and relevant. All speakers must state their first and last name before speaking. Individuals participating remotely must also state their first and last name, have their camera on, clearly showing their face while they are speaking. Section 8, Scope of Authority. The select board shall exercise executive authority as provided by law in the town charter, make recommendations to town meeting, and refrain from exercising any legislative powers except as expressly authorized by law. Parliamentary procedure. Hold on. This is why I don't like technology. Proceedings of the select board shall be guided by principles of fairness and, where applicable, by Robert's Rules of Order newly revised, except where superseded by law or this manual. Section 10, voting. Except as otherwise provided by law, or by law, charter, or this manual, all actions of a select board shall require a majority vote of those present and voting. Records and minutes, section 11. Preparedness of minutes. Minutes shall be prepared in compliance with the Massachusetts Open Meeting Law and shall accurately reflect the proceedings of each meeting. Responsibility. The preparation and maintenance of the minutes and records shall be conducted under the direction of the clerk of the select board with administrative support from the executive assistant to the town manager. Records retention and public records compliance, section 12. 12.1, public records compliance. All select board records shall be maintained and disclosed in accordance with Massachusetts public law. Records shall include but not limited to agenda, minutes, electronic communications, correspondence, and supporting documentation. 12.2, record retentions. All records shall be retained in accordance with applicable records retention schedules issued by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and guidance from the Secretary of the Commonwealth. No record shall be destroyed except in compliance with such schedules. Custodianship. The executive assistant to the town manager may maintain select board records for administrative purposes. The town clerk shall remain the official custodian of municipal records as required by law. Public records shall be made available within statutory timeframes. Reasonable fees will be assessed as permitted by law. Electronic records. Electronic communications relating to public business shall constitute public records and shall be retained and managed accordingly. Section 13, committees. All committees established by the select board shall be advisory in nature and shall comply with Massachusetts open meeting law where applicable. 14 is appointments. All appointments shall be made in open session unless otherwise authorized by law. 15 is vacancies. Vacancies shall be addressed in accordance with Wareham Rule Charter and applicable state law. 16, all official inquiries and requests for information shall be directed through the town manager. Section 17, the code of conduct. All members shall conduct themselves in a professional and respectful manner consistent with the code of conduct for elected and appointed officials. Just as note, we also do have a code of conduct for visitors as well. I'm reading off the one here. I have gone and updated this for when the select board meets again, and we'll go over more of it. All members shall comply with the Massachusetts Conflict of Interest Law. Role of members. Members shall act only through the select board as a collective body and shall not act individually on behalf of the select board unless authorized. Relationship to the town manager. The select board shall establish policy. The town manager shall be responsible for the administration. No individual member shall supervise or direct town staff. And an annual review, the select board must review this manual annually and may amend it by majority vote. So that is it. I do have some clerical stuff that I have went through and redone. But if there's anything that we would have to ask now, please do so.
So, I would just, when we do meet as a board to talk about it, one of the things I'd like to further clarify is the ability of an individual select board member to have conversation with the town manager, and just in preparation for a meeting to get information to help with the agenda and whatnot. So, as it reads, I walk away with the perception that it's structured through the chair to the town manager. And I don't know if that's meant to prohibit
No.
an individual board member, but if it's not, and I don't believe it is, I think it should be stated that individual board members can approach the town manager to get information in preparation of a meeting and whatnot. So that's one thing.
100%, great thing to put in there too. Just again, we're establishing a policy for this, so yes, I agree.
Now, on the committees, where it says all committees established by the selectmen shall be advisory. All of these committees also have responsibilities and authority, and it says advisory. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that.
Most of the committees, that's what they are in nature, is advisory. They don't, boards are the only
I think-
ones. Sorry, no, go ahead.
I think the key word is established, so it's when the board creates a committee that they're advisory, as opposed to appointed, which is the Conservation Commission.
I don't think I did ask.
Yeah, they have authority.
Right.
Yeah, they're not advisory, it means
So it's
that
changed a
board has
little.
the
Like I
authority
said,
to make decisions.
My
But
brain
the board didn't establish the Conservation Commission.
Oh, yeah.
They just appoint members. I think
Correct.
that's the difference.
Yes, correct. So, when we are done today with discussing this, I will send this one here, because in the one that I did revise, it does talk about public access, public records shall be made available within statutory timeframes from the records access officer, also known as a RAO. Reasonable fees will be assessed as permitted by law. So when we were doing this document, my brain was fried in a lot of this. Ken got a half dozen different emails saying, nope, added one more. You guys got one early on. I didn't even know what time it was when we sent it. I just hit send. And I thought that was good, and I've changed a lot, because you guys got an updated draft. Well, that was another updated draft even more. As these are going out, my brain starts operating a little bit better after I'm done, when I'm stopped looking at a computer. But I would like to have the ability for the public. Yes, Nicole?
Just some quick questions. Number 7, the last bullet point. Individual participating remotely shall have their cameras on, clearly showing their face while speaking. I don't know if that's I think the attorney addressed that when making emails to us, so we might want to look into that.
Okay. Yep, we can do that.
And then 11.2. To me, it sounds like you're making the clerk do the minutes when it's my job, so I don't know
Yeah.
if we wanna clean that.
We can do that. Okay, okay, we can change those words around. But, all right. Anyone else? No? All right, so by the end of the meeting, we'll compile our thoughts and set up another meeting so that this will be the only thing that's on the agenda item for that. At this time, does anyone from the public want to comment on anything that they heard tonight, or suggestions that they would like to see possibly put in it?
I just thought, I know it's general, high level, so when it says public records shall be made available, it just doesn't say how. I always, it kind of goes back to this thing with the public.
So in my latest of the draft versions, 12.4 public access, public records shall be made available. with statutory timeframes from the records access officer.
Okay.
So that's who you would seek that through.
So there's no, because, again, going back to the meeting minutes complaint was that I thought it was town protocol and established protocol that meeting minutes got posted, that the agenda got posted. So that's why, that was the base of the complaint, is that we're not seeing them, and this is something that's been escalated many times. So it's just generic, it just said shall be made available. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to those guidance material. I know it was really exciting. All right, and then we will move on to where the discussion for Ware Public Schools civic engagement. Ken, I know that you.
Sure. So, thank you, Mr. Chair. So after our last meeting where there was some conversation about how could the town engage with students about governance and attending town meeting and their responsibilities, and this has been kind of an ongoing discussion as well. But I did place a call to Superintendent Woods, had a great conversation with him, and they are very interested in increasing their students' exposure to the civics curriculum. They're bringing a new teacher in that will be in place, I think, for the fall. This is also a priority besides Superintendent Woods. It's also a priority of Brian Winslow, who is the chair of the school committee. So we have a window of opportunity here where the board is got a concern and the schools have a concern. So at this point, what is been agreed to is let's get together and talk about it and see what the possibilities are. And the initial brainstorming was very wide-ranging, as you can imagine, from something as simple as a member of the school community leading the pledge to open a select board meeting, and members of the school committee community being invited to do the same thing at other public meetings, and making them aware of the meetings, working with, and a lot of this would be grade dependent, based on what each grade is appropriate for what they're studying, and based on the student's interest. But I think it's a great conversation to start, and look forward to furthering that engagement with the schools.
I think it's an outstanding idea.
Anything to get the kids more involved.
Oh, yeah.
Town politics would be great,
Yep.
especially the 11th and 12th grade.
But I know that, so is there any discussion that anybody has, questions, wanna be talked about for Ken or anybody in general on this? Or shall we look to, obviously this won't be happening this school year,
Not like
but it's actually, I think it's a really good thing that we're not. Now we have the time and the ability to
yeah.
get this program up and running. And then as September comes along, we can start seeking that little bit of engagement from the students. And Ken, did you say it was gonna be primary, particularly the 11th and 12th grade?
Not really. I think it was easier to talk about how 11th and 12th graders might get engaged because of their age and what they're already studying. But we talked about how else could we get down to the elementary level. For example, the superintendent mentioned, they used to do a field trip to Washington DC to see how government operates. I suggested we'll do a field trip to the town hall and see how local government operates. Now, I believe the 5th grades each year visit the Ware Meeting House, and they have a full day at the Meeting House where they do get some pieces of Ware history. They visit the Meeting House, they're driven around the town, and they're seeing some of the historical sites in town. So we have somewhat of a foundation that's already in place. So how can we build on that?
We, at one time, there was a homeschool group that was taken around and shown all of town hall, the fire department, the police department, and they met with Stewart, they met with the town clerk, they met with the building commissioner, the police chief. They asked all the questions that they could possibly imagine. We hit the lights on the cruisers and we went down to the firehouse and we did the same thing. So there's definitely a want with the youth, it's just directing them to getting this, and I think this is gonna be an outstanding thing if we can get this up and running. So, anybody have any questions? No? Alright, then we'll move on. Request from Resource Waste Community, donation for the town motto signs. So, just so everybody knows, our town motto is the exact one I just talked about in my opening remark. It's never gonna go away. This picture was around. I don't know where it is, but, yeah, no, the police chief, Mr., was it Buckley? That had it, so he's the one who coined it. It was in Time Magazine or whatever it was magazine. Life. I was gonna say Time Life, but that was the classics, you know, love songs and, never mind. But yeah, so we're not looking to do away with it. People are really, social media is a wonderful thing. No, the town did not get rid of it. What you guys are seeing is a branding thing that was started by one of our town planners and steward many years ago, 2017, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Is to bring and attract business. If people actually take a look at our branding logo, it has the town hall, it has the falls over here, incorporated into that. The design came through with different colors that are most appealing to people to make it a flashy statement to try to draw business. But in no way was this to say we're getting rid of our town's motto. But with that being said, I know that we had a brief conversation for getting a request to get some new signs. They said it was about $400 for signs.
There's a new quote, it's $665 per sign.
Okay.
It's a 2023 quote though, so we should,
I did provide an updated quote,
Oh.
including boxes.
Yeah.
So for 2 signs, it's $15.05.
so it's $750, $250 a sign. Yep, gotcha. Thank you.
All right. So, does the select board want to make a request from the Resource Waste Community Donation Funds to get the new signs?
I'm certainly in favor of it. I know this is for 2. Would we not need 3? I'm just wondering for the major thoroughfares in town coming and going on Route 9.
There are
Oh.
two still up.
Oh, there's 2 still up.
Yeah, one just above Anderson Road and one on the corner of East Street, by Pete's Garage.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the right-hand side coming to center of town. So,
I think there used to be 4,
Okay.
but if you think of a 5th, we can get 3.
what are, anybody know the condition of the ones that are currently up? Are they in good shape? I mean, if they're, not trying to sound greedy, but if there's money on the table and it is another sign, it's just more vibrant, and then they all match,
Good point.
I don't know, I mean, should we look at asking for $3,010? How much money is left in the resource waste fund?
1,500, so 15,000 minus 6,500, 8,500.
Yeah, so there's enough there. I like the idea of refreshing all the signs,
I do too.
Me too.
Oh,
so,
that sounds amazing, look at that, the board just
It
all
does.
unanimously, yes.
Well, I think, the old signs, they are old, and if we have new signs that are nice, shiny and everything, and they have older signs that are a little, why not a little bit, why not? Yeah, like you said, Josh, if the money's there, why not use it? Use
Yeah.
it towards something big towards town.
I mean, and as people come in that are non-for-profits and whatnot, they can ask for whatever, but we're here and it's a thing that I see that people want. And what I look at it is trying to do our job and there's some money out there, so.
Mr. Chair, I would move that, because Stuart, if I'm correct, we allocate the money from the fund,
Yes.
correct? Yeah. So, Mr. Chair, I would move that we authorize the expense of $3,010 for the purchase of 4 Welcome to Wear nationally known as the Town Can't Be Licked signs with funding from the Resource Waste Community Donation Fund.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
There we are.
Okay.
good job, everyone.
But when we order them, can we just make sure that we get an idea of what they're gonna, are they gonna be identical? Okay, they are. Alright. Never mind. I just wanted to see a picture if they were gonna change up anything. Have newer worded letters. Alright, we are select board roundtable discussion. If anybody from the select board has anything. Yes, Mr. Willett?
So, the water quality perception surveys that were returned are being entered into the database so that we will have the results of those. Do we know when that'll be done, Stuart?
I don't, she made good progress last week.
I'm sorry?
Try a quarter way through.
Yeah, there's quite a few. She had a whole box of them, and she said there were a lot of comments that were being entered, so there'll be a lot of information for it. So, for those who contributed by completing the survey, thank you very much, but we'll be taking care of that. Some folks have also asked about the town meeting packet, and when will the town meeting packet for the June 8th, correct?
Yes.
The June 8th annual town meeting, which is later than normal, which is a very important town meeting because we do our budget along with some other housekeeping items. So that packet will be available when, Stuart?
So for the board, it would be, you're gonna be talking about it on May 19th, so it'd be the Thursday before, which is 18th, 17th. May 14th.
And how about for the public? If the public, because we encourage people to read it ahead of time, to get engaged and begin developing their questions so that they can be informed prior to town meeting. When will it be available for the public?
Well, with the full recommendations, it would be the Friday after the 19th, which would be the 22nd.
The 22nd, and that'll be the recommendations of the Select Board, the Finance Committee, and the Capital Planning Committee?
Yes, I don't know, based on tonight's discussion, whether the capital plan will meet by the 22nd,
Okay.
but yeah.
I wanted to suggest to the board we consider asking if there would be a volunteer in town who would be willing to serve as the town historian. We're celebrating our 250th anniversary. We're putting up signs that talk about the history of Ware and something that's really important to a lot of people. And Cynthia LaBombard used to be our unofficial historian and did a great job, God rest her soul. But since she's passed, we haven't had anybody who's really been tasked with kind of keeping the history of the town present and just being a resource to the town and helping us with that. So I don't know if that's something you want to put on an agenda for a future meeting, but I would like to suggest we consider reaching out to see if there would be somebody in town who would be willing to serve as our
Can we
historian.
put that on the website? Even like any way to get it out. Stanley can put it up that, and they will email Stuart.
Great.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
I know of about 10 people, and they all would do a phenomenal job. They do.
it would be helpful as we work with the schools as well, and we're trying to teach them not only about civics, but the history of the town.
Well, how everything was started and created.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I like it.
All right, that's my items, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to speak.
Yep.
So I have two different things. One is there a way we can more frequently post what positions are available on the different town boards? Now, I was at a Council on Aging meeting this morning. What did we say? There's 6 vacancies. And it's sad, it's sad. We gotta find a way to get residents in Ware more involved with some of our boards. And the way I got into it is because you had posted before, so I knew what was available, so I came and asked for appointments. But, you know, a lot of times people tell me they don't know what's available and what's not, so just think.
So do they have or you have a suggestion where they would like to be, because they are on the website and the wall.
Oh, they are on the
So,
website?
yeah,
Okay.
but, and let me jump in here. Nicole's and the IT department are working very hard to make it a better website. We've seen better examples, so things are easier to find, so that may be the answer.
Okay, all right,
Now,
so
what if-
I'm gonna start spreading the
What
word.
if we put up you know, especially at like the senior center, right? Do we have a piece of paper that says that this is open here? You know, something that just shows them, I mean, it's a simple piece of
Yeah.
paper put on a cork board. And then this way here, they see it, they glance at it, or it creates I mean, that's just a easy solution to do that.
Yep.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Two things if I could suggest. One, if we have a list of them, we just read it at least once a month at the start of the select board meeting.
Absolutely.
Just because Stanley, with his coverage, and then our friends in Zoom and the recordings that are available. And secondly, with annual town meeting coming, is maybe having a little bit of I use the term job fair, but it would be committee fair, have a table with the sign saying if you're interested in serving on a committee, and have the information about what committees have what vacancies, while we have somewhat of a captive audience, and see if there isn't anybody that might be interested at that point. And I would certainly, you know, be willing to take part in that at the town meeting.
Or doing it if you want,
What's that?
or doing it with
Mhm.
the town meeting if you want.
Another opportunity would be National Night Out Day for that. You know, it's just have an area where we have somebody set up, talks about that, and try to get people from the boards, like you're saying, to go down there and just talk about what we do where there's, in these opening areas. But we should actually, as a body, and I'm speaking on behalf of the select board, for National Night Out, I think boards should be down there, just engaging with the public, having a table or something just to discuss what they're doing or what the current projects are. So people, it just gives them another opportunity for the public engagement with people and town officials.
Another thing, this is adding actually a third question, but Memorial Day Parade,
We wanna know.
what are the selectmen's involvement?
We dance.
I can't,
No,
It
Like
depends on the
try.
music.
no, we, believe it or not, I've never been.
We march.
So,
We march.
We march.
I've always had to work.
and if you can't march, you can meet at Veterans
No, I can watch.
Park.
Yeah, so we meet over at the Legion on Maple Street, and then we march as a group. And there's probably 50 to 75 parade marchers, different organizations, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, military, other town organizations. And then we march over to Veterans Park, and there's a very nice ceremony that takes place there.
don't they stop at, the bridge in South Street? They named after early how to put a reef in the river.
They have, I don't know if that's every year.
Yeah, we didn't do it last year, I don't think.
Okay.
And anything else?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So I want to circle back to the issue about the veteran agent. I know I brought a lot of information to you, and I know you spoke to the veteran agent in Palmer. And with all the information we've gathered and given to you, I'm kind of surprised we're still looking to move forward with him. I really kind of thought with all the information we brought forward, it would be,
Do you think my opinion, it's your appointment, is you need to have an opportunity with a current employee?
We have to hear what he has to say, and then whatever you gave to Stuart, share with us. And again, if Valerie decides to share that email, it is not a reply all, okay? Just so everybody understands that, it's not a reply all. You do not discuss your opinion about it on there, do not do anything. Read it, and it's information for when we meet with Mr. Avis. But if you can share your concerns with us, or Stuart, if Stuart has them, Stuart, can push them out from his. And again, if Stuart does, it doesn't matter who does it, do not reply all.
And Stuart, have you had a chance to talk to Mr. Avis?
No, he was not here today's Tuesday. I did not run into him today. I have, as said, talked to the agent in Palmer.
Okay, because I think it would, if we're gonna be talking about this in public session, I think it's great if he has the heads up
Yes,
as to what the concerns are and what the conversation with the board might be.
right. So, okay. Any more roundtable?
I do, Mr.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman. Two things, I know I talked a lot about the rail trail, which is the beautiful thing in town. The Friends of the Senior Center are looking to purchase a wishing well for the Gibbs Crossing section. Stuart, is that okay if they do that? Cause I know that could be a thing with the Open Space Committee. They're looking to place a wishing well down by the Flatbrook Bridge in the bottom of Meadowbrook Road.
Sure. Does it, are they just aesthetic or do they have another purpose, Stephen?
Just
aesthetic.
aesthetics.
Okay,
You know,
I think
the
that's,
seniors always love going down there, they sit on the bench, they wanna, you know, they wanna donate something down on the road trail, and
I think that's great.
and then all the friends, they, you know, they get money from the parties they have, the little dinners, and they always try to give back to people, you know, which is great, they give back to seniors and people in town. It's a great thing that they do down at the senior center, which, it's always great to go down there. I know I'm not a senior, but I've been a member since 2019, love it down there. And one other thing about the road trail is, Stuart, the signs that you and Nicole had made up for the e-bikes,
Yep.
do you know when those will be put up?
I don't, but before it gets, I would say before summer, Stephen, before the end of,
Okay. I know,
sometime in June.
okay,
Where the DPW is light staffed at the moment, but.
yeah, I understand that. This, our third question, I know the state just passed new laws now with e-bikes and mopeds and everything else, so I think the signs are really educate the public on what can and cannot be on all the trails in town and the streets, so. Those are very educational. Thank you, Stuart, thank you, Nicole, for getting those done. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Anyone else? No? Town manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let's see, do point out that Saturday, looks like the weather may be okay, that it is baseball opening day, and everyone in town is invited. It's great, great day for both baseball and softball. See the kids play, see the kids parade, so hope people will turn out. And I do want to give congratulations to everyone involved in the Out of the Darkness Suicide Prevention Walk this past weekend. Very big turnout, very meaningful speaking. So great job by the kids involved that pulled it together. Quick update on town finances. We're well aware that everyone is waiting for the fourth quarter tax bills. It is our plan to have them issued next Friday, May 15th. We did get approval of the tax rate last week with a lot of help from the State Department of Revenue. The same group is helping, it's not related to the tax bills, but the same group is helping on moving free cash forward, and that was submitted last Friday night, so hopefully we will hear soon about the free cash amount. Let's see, you mentioned the event on May 12th. The had nearly 16 interviews for firefighter positions. We're hoping to hire a total of 4 over the coming 8 months or so, 2 for the immediate future and 2 for next fiscal year. We are working with civil service on a town meeting vote that occurred 2 to 3 years ago, where the town meeting voted to increase the minimum age, and that will actually help us with the hirings. You may recall that we had a very successful presentation about the water system at the senior center, where the DPW director, Ken Calder, made a presentation. The same group is looking to do a presentation on localized flooding in town, currently planned for May 27th, but we'll get more information out about that. This is already up on the big signs, but we will make calls and Facebook postings that the 3 Mile Bridge will be closed from May 18th to May 21st. During that time, they will be doing the paving and removing the center barrier, so that after that, although the bridge won't be done, there will be 2 free-flowing lanes, which is very exciting.
So nice.
So, yeah. Ultimately, the bridge will be done probably late in the summer.
Stuart, just a quick question, because I was asked. Everything is still going through with the naming of the bridge?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
the,
I did get asked that question.
Senator Durant's office called and asked for a clean copy of the vote, so yes.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Just an update on the roads, I'll say it in backwards that I wrote. East Main Street should be a late summer project. Church Street should be a early to midsummer project. Those are sidewalk. Church Street's a sidewalk project, East Street's the whole street. We will have community outreach late in May. I wrote the 3rd week, it may have to be a week later. Cottage Street is a separate part of the block grant program, and they're required to have hearings and neighborhood outreach, so they will do that. We just got the engineer back on board today, so that probably will also be a late, that'll probably be a fall project.
I have a couple of questions on that.
Yeah,
On Church Street, will the people that will be affected by the sidewalks, will they be notified?
yes, we will send letters or hang doors on each neighbor.
Everything look good?
Yeah.
And the East Main Street, will also be notification of all the abutters?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and will also, as to what will be taking place on the East Main Street, with the roads, and the water, and the sewer?
Right, so we have lined up the, Wright Pierce, who is that project's engineer, to give a presentation that night to everyone as to everything that will happen with that project and where.
Okay, and whether or not there'll be, how the roads, will be one-way traffic, will be, and whatever they'll be doing there,
Right.
that could impact the area
Right.
very significantly. So as long as the public's aware of it, it's gonna be a disruption. If people are aware of it and they know it's coming down, it'll go a long way in getting your support.
Right, so that traffic flow is actually one of the things, the design engineers are waiting on to hear back from Mass DOT, as to their approval before the plans are released for bidding. So,
Okay.
that's why it's gonna be a later in the year project.
Thank you.
And then the last, did want to bring to your attention, the town, through the treasurer's office, did put out, short-term, borrowing notes for the water tanks and for the East Main Street project, a total of about just under $4 million. Did get, 3 very similar, very good amounts to 4% interest rate. So likely at your, I think it's your May 19th meeting, if not, it's June 2nd, that we will have the notes here for you to sign for that borrowing. And I think that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
All right. Just a quick question for the board. Are you guys, would the board be available for May 13th? Nicole, what time does the charter review, not charter, the 250th? Yeah, but what time does it usually wrap up? What time? Would the board be able to do May 13th at 6?
Yep,
What day is it on, Josh?
that's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Probably should.
To go through the standard operating procedures for the select board. Do you wanna be here for it? Do you wanna be here for it?
No, he's traveling, right?
I will not be in the state.
He's away.
Yeah, no, I'm
He's
saying
away.
is if you want to
Oh,
be
I
here.
understand the question.
No,
I can zoom in if needed, but no.
no,
What time, Josh?
but you'll see it before, cause
Yes.
we're gonna ask for it to go just to make sure that
Let me
the
double check.
council is gleaming happy with it.
6 PM start,
Yeah.
did you say?
Yeah.
6 PM.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
there,
No problem.
the 250th gets finished around 6, so we'll probably, we'll call it 6:10, just so we can give you guys, yeah, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So now, I don't have to be like, oh, I have to go somewhere else for another meeting, I can just do it all together. Alright, well, thank you all for coming, everybody on Zoom, thank you. At this time, it is 8:05, 8:06, we'll be looking for a motion for an adjournment.
Movie adjourned?
We'll look for a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.